Hey guys, so today I was going to talk about Cheers Take Two. Sorry. Yeah, so slight computer issue there. Just did a restart. Should be back in business now. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about extreme keys and particularly those relating to the arms in a walk cycle. And as I mentioned, if you look at the animated survival kit, which pretty much every animator has a copy of somewhere. Um, if you look, there's a ton of information about walk cycles on this, some of which is a little bit politically incorrect and incorrect, and a bit dated. But there's some good information in there as well. If you look at page 108, that's in the expanded edition anyway. In this version, page 108, there's an illustration here of the basic poses of a walk. That's this one here. I don't know if you can see that on the webcam. Go to page 108 if you have the edition, or just whatever page talks about the basic walk poses if you have the older version. And basically, what he demonstrates in that is that the extreme pose for the arms is different to or where it happens is a different pose to the legs. So, like when we're planning out a walk cycle, most people start with this pose as the first pose, which is basically the extreme for the legs. Kind of a funny pose with this guy because of his posture and actually pose just as I'm seeing it. Maybe same thing here, just push it a little bit. But that's basically the where the feet are the furthest apart, just before the weight comes down them. That's like people often call that the contact pose. And the thing is though that the arms don't reach their extreme, their widest swing, if you like, until usually a couple of frames after that, which in this one is on frame 3, which is usually called the down pose or the squash pose. And the problem with that, is that it just makes it a little bit tricky. If I look at the arms in the graph editor, I look say to translate Z. I'm actually using IK arms for this walk. I don't generally use IK for walks, but in this case, I'm trying to do sort of a sort of cartoony sort of feel to it. So I want them. I just find for some of the kind of stuff I'm doing here, like leading with the elbow on my back, like if you look at that pose there, that's a pretty weird pose for a naturalistic walk, but kind of in a cartoony world, it kind of makes sense. So it kind of feel like the elbow is kind of leading there, and then the arm swings through quickly like that. That's why I'm using IK basically for this one, so I can really control the shape of the arm going through. Not that you can't do that with FK, but I find you tend to get some weird rotations as you're pulling that around, as you're getting this kind of, for a naturalistic walk, though, I definitely would use FK. But my point is that it's actually this pose that we're kind of treating as the most extreme pose. So why not treat that as my first pose for the arms, even though it's frame 3 on my cycle, and then it's going to end on, if we look at the curves, I've actually got my curves set to repeat cycle, post infinity cycle, pre-infinity cycle. If I look, I've got view infinity turned on, which means I can actually see the curves after the curves finish, if you like, after the keyframes finish. If I look at the translate Z there, you'll see as it goes off into space, I've got this curve continuing on out. So that shows me basically what I'm getting as the curve repeats. But why not use that as my starting pose? So what I've done is just I'm using ABX picker here, or all control picker, sorry. I've given myself a little button here that selects all arms. And in this case, that is the shoulders, the IK pulls, like the elbow pulls, these guys with the elbow, and then the IK hand controller themselves. So I just want to make sure I've got all those selected. I'm going to key that on frame 3, and then I'm going to key it. This is actually frame 21. I've actually speeded up the cycle just a little bit from yesterday. I was 24 frames, now I made it 20 frames. This was starting to feel a little bit slow to me for the character design. I wanted to go for something a little bit more cartoony, so I sped it up. So it's now a 20 frame cycle, with 21 being the same as frame 1, rather than 25 being the same as 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pose I have on frame 3 and key it on, for all those controllers, key it on frame 23. And then I'm going to get rid of frame 1 and frame 2 for everything. I think that should be able to. Let me just double check. So now The animation won't look any different, except when I loop, of course. If I loop from 1 to 20 again, it'll still work fine because the infinity curves are still repeating the animation in the same way. So I haven't changed animation at all. I've just offset where my cycle for the arms is starting. I'm going to just do that temporarily while I work on these poses and the timing and spacing of them. And then when I'm finished, I'll just bake it back to frames 1 to 20 again so that it's on the same keys as everything else. But my idea really was that why do we need to keep everything on frame 1 to 21 if it doesn't really suit this particular part of the animation? I'd really rather set my range from 3 now to 23. So now I've got, this pose and this pose are the same. So now I've got frame 13 will be my halfway key, and frame 8 to work out, get used to the master. So what I'm just going to do now is just to make things a little bit simpler for me, I'm going to delete my keys on what I have for the arms, except for the, I've keyed them on every frame actually. Sure that. So frame 1 and 13 will be 18. So I'm going to get rid of this key, this key, this key, this key, this key. So I'm deleting all my work here, but I'm going to rebuild it pretty quickly, I think. And the reason I'm deleting it, let's see, 13 plus 5 is 17. I'm not used to doing a 20 frame cycle, so I'm going to be a little bit slow figuring out where the actual halfway keys are. I think it's that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, that's it. So 5 between each. So 1, 2, so frame 8. So now I've just taken it back to basically my extreme keys, my breakdown keys. Extreme key, breakdown key, extreme key. So now it's going to look actually not terrible, not all that much worse than what was there. But I'm going to just work on these poses now and maybe make these a little bit prettier. We're going to take that elbow out a bit more. We take this elbow in a bit more. We put it back. So just trying to get a nicer flow of action through that pose. I don't want his hand to be actually intersecting with his tail there, so I want to keep his wrist sort of in line. I want to relax his shoulder down maybe a little bit. Have this shoulder up. So I'm just going to refine this pose, basically make this because this pose is the one I really want us to see. That's the thing that I didn't really like about the animation as it was that it was feeling a little bit, the timing and spacing was a little bit kind of generic, computery. It wasn't as cartoony as I wanted. So I'm going to say that's my pose for the arms. So I'm going to key that there, and then here, and then frame 13. And then I'm going to use my mirror tools here just to kind of mirror these poses quickly. So I'm going to AFK, shoulders. They're kind of IKFK, those ones. And then the pose, and hands. Whoops, that does not work with that. Let's see. Position. No. Do this. It's the rotation. No, I'm gonna have to build this pose manually, unfortunately. Okay. Well, get my eye. Put this up here. Just to match this. But yeah, it depends on the rig. Some rigs won't work with here. I'm gonna his elbow. Or his elbow pole actually did mirror, okay, so I'm gonna leave that. And this one back. This I think was the other pose. Let's have a look. The back arm. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna do a little trick actually that I do sometimes. I'm gonna hide the clothes for a second. Let's see if I mirror this guy. This is another way to mirror a pose. There's always different ways to do it. I'm gonna ghost his geometry there, and I've got a selection set there. It's only ghosting the back of his head. Now it's ghosting his whole body. I'm going to take that ghost and I'm just going to scale it -1. So now I've got the mirrored version of it. And now if I go to frame 13, most of them will line up to it, except for arms. That's another way to just give myself a visual guide for what the mirror pose should look like. Just a little bit quicker than doing it. We're totally, flipping back and forward. Because I've got another pose in between here as well, which I might end up deleting as well. But just put this in for now. But having this ghost there just helps me position this, mirror it a bit better. So it doesn't have to be 100% accurate anyway, but it'll just give me a better starting point. See there that wrist is more straight there. This is a nicer, it's kind of a clearer shape. That's pretty close. Maybe bend the. That's as much a translation thing as a rotation thing. A rotation there as well. Something like that. As I say, it doesn't have to be 100% a mirror. Just has to be reasonably good. Now I'm just going to delete the ghosts again. So that was just a quick way to get some sort of visual guide for what that mirror pose should look like. So now I'm going to just make sure this arm's keyed there and there and there. And then I'm going to look at the in-between pose. Just going to see how the translation works. Or the transition, basically, how the keying. And it's not too bad, but I think maybe favor that down. Maybe a little bit of a nicer arc. Favor this control down a little. Elbow doing. I like his elbow pulling back like that. It's kind of smoothing into where he's coming from. And I feel like his wrist can maybe drag a bit more. In rotation was. Oops, I've keyed it now. And actually get rid of that key. This. Something like that. Now it's hitting there. It's actually gimbaling now. Let's see if I can fix that with the graph editor, with the order filter. Did that fix it? Yeah. Order filter. Yeah, so there we go. That's pretty generic looking spacing now. So we've only got two in-betweens, or even no in-betweens really. That's just a breakdown. We haven't given the computer any information other than that. So I'm going to make that shape a little bit nicer from this angle. We didn't get gimbal again. That's good. And then this pose, as I say, I really wanted to favor back where it was. I'm really exaggerating this. This isn't a natural look and walk at all, but it's kind of an attitude walk. I want to feel like the shoulder is kind of leading this almost. I'm gonna take that. Yeah, I feel like I like that. I'm gonna look with his clothes on. Looking at the naked cat again. Yeah, I'm liking that. So we might be getting some gimbal here, are we? Yeah, we are. We're getting some gimbal on that arm. Auto filter again. Fix it. Yeah. Not exactly. That's a kind of a weird pose here. Actually, that might not be an auto filter thing. Let's have a look. That's weird. The pose should be the same. Let's try the other again. Yeah, that's interesting. It keeps breaking my mirroring. At least for the Y. That's strange. Wonders of Maya. I suppose it doesn't understand that I want this to be a. How about if I do that? How about I just delete that Y? Now I've got rid of the gimbal at least. Trying to avoid bending in too many different axes. That's the one thing with these extreme poses. Oops, you've got the wrong control there. look at that. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'm going to end up keying almost every frame by the end of it. Like this weird transition here, I can fix that with just keys. But at least now I'm not getting, you know, weird transition into the last pose again. You can loop clear now. Yeah, that's better. The wonders of rotations in 3D. You know, you always get these weird. Yeah, that's not too bad. First starting point. Um, so I did this pose. I mean, this breakdown, I guess. See all arms there. I want to mirror that over here. So I might do the same thing again. Just ghost this pose. And just go into my ghosts group here and just scale it -1. I'm going to hide the close again because it's a little easier to see what's going on. So now I've got frame 18, isn't it? Yeah. So now I can match that pose a bit better. So again, alien translation. Again, I want the shoulder. Delete it. Oops, not the chest. Shoulder. This is this red guy. So it's kind of like the motion is coming from his shoulder, then his elbow, then his wrist. So I'm trying to make him feel really flexible and really sort of cartoony, you know, like a Popeye or you know something like that. With attitude, with a cartoony sort of feel to that pose. Real people do not walk like this generally. Although they kind of feel like they do sometimes. I think that's what you're trying to get with the cartoony thing is, you know, a feeling of something. Again, this pose, it's dragging back towards where it was. Elbow pull. I can just mirror those, but already there. Do it this way. Hey. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% match of what we have on the other side, but just same spirit of it. Something like that. So ghosts again. Let's see what that looks like. Key on there. Okay, so even with just those two poses, basically, I already feel this is better than what I had really. And I'm just going to go in between. I'm going to pick all arms. I'm just going to favor them back where they are. I'm just using like this is my little utility belt. This is very similar to like Tween Machine or you know, I think Animbot has its own tweener as well. This is just the same kind of thing. It's just a tweening tool. So I'm going to start looking now at the actual arcs. I'm going to put a tracker on this and put motion trail on it. And just look at that. So I'm going to flip the wrist over a bit. I want to see that as it comes back, kind of flipping through. Maybe with a nicer arc. And then here, maybe still have the rotation favoring back to where it was. Because I want the rotation to I want the wrist to be the most flexible part. So this is a little bit unusual for me. I'm keying on like 2 and then I'm keying 2 frames before the end. So I'm not, you know, I'm more used to having my keys on fairly even frames. You know, every 2 or 3 frames or something like that. I have that in this case because I've got this weird number of frames, like 10 frames per cycle rather than 12. It doesn't divide up as neatly. That's good. Good to push yourself out of your comfort zone a bit. So I'm going to favor that into the next a bit more. Yeah. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I've already done the favoring on that side. Now, oh, we've got some weird stuff happening there. And there's a weird looking pose there. Are we getting that over here? Yeah, we are actually. Okay, cool. It's just how that pole is interpreting. So bring that down there. Fix the same thing up here. Here. Like that. And yeah, this is where I'm going to need the most keys because this is where it kind of swings through. I've got it leading here, and I want it to come back. And if you look at it there, I might ghost them there, and then here, and then we have the elbow not kind of pop out like that so much. Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to key it there, ghost it, and then here I'm going to slow it out of that, change a little bit more. Try for a second so you can see that. So I'm kind of looking at the elbows first. I'll look at the shoulders as well because they're kind of controlling how the chest. It's like the chest in this guy. Moving away the shoulder controller a little bit. Here I'm gonna favor it back from where it was. Yeah, I actually even put it up a bit more. Something like that. Just get a nicer shape there. How does that look with it closed? Yeah, that's it. That's good. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Again. I'll favor where it was actually. Even a little bit more. Something like that. Just a slightly clearer shape through there. Put that there. Yeah, so I really want to feel that attitude. Yeah. Now I'm going to start looking at rotation. I'm going to do one more little pass looking at the elbows actually. I might even put a motion trail on the elbow. That would work very well with this rig, but you can try it. Can we show his joints? I wonder. Is that a piece of joint? No, there's not. There's no button at his sleeve or on his elbows. That would be nice. Yeah, see that transition there? That looks really noisy. But I like it up until there. I can maybe even favor it a bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do the same thing on this side. And push this one, the next one a little bit. Yeah, so we're really getting the feel that that elbow is leading the action. So it's not bad up to here. You know, all the way up through here. It's not bad at all. And then here, let's look at that. If it goes here and then goes here, then just make this pose feel a bit more smooth. Something like that. And then I've got this. I'm getting more of a sense that the arm is kind of pivoting on this axis. I don't know if you can see that on the webcam, but you know, it's kind of pivoting here. But the upper arm is kind of going back and it's leading through like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm kind of fixing the same thing on both sides as I go along. So again, I'm going to ghost here, ghost here. I give them different colors so it's a little easier. Actually, this pose, this is where I'm getting that clunk, 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 clunk. You know, that's just really noisy looking. Whereas if I take this out, so it's kind of more of a halfway. And this is the kind of thing I wouldn't really do in the graph editor because it's not a halfway in physical space really. Like look where it is down here. It's a completely different pose. Maybe a little smoother, but and then maybe let's see where it is there. There. I'm kind of just looking at this outer edge of the character here. It's a little bit hard to see with all the controllers and all the ghosts and stuff now. But I'm kind of trying to see where that goes. and then have it kind of flow a little bit more. I'm trying to make sure that there's not like this front line isn't kind of going flickering back and forth. Let's bust those again. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit better. It's starting to feel a little bit more FK now, which is good. That's usually what you want it to feel like it's FK, even if it is IK. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing here. I got a ghost here. I've already done this, but I'm not ready yet. A little bit better, but still a bit noisy. Like this is good and this is a good one, so I just delete that. Yeah, not too bad. I might just do now is just select his arms and just make sure they're all in tangents and that kind of stuff. Let's put on his clothes again for a second. You can see what he looks like with his jacket. Yeah, not deforming his elbow or his shoulders and elbows too much. I'm getting a little bit of see a little bit of edge penetration there, pushing the rig maybe a little bit too far there, but I'd rather do that. You know, that's the kind of thing that you know, somebody in a pipeline would fix that. Either with a skinning fix or maybe a little corrective blend shape or something just to kind of move that out. But now that I've got the elbows and the shoulders where I'm pretty happy with them, I might actually just do a quick little look at the shoulders first in the graph editor. Just have a look at the curves, clean. What happens if I favor this one? Yeah, that's okay. Favor back to the. I don't even know if I need that one so much. That's a weird looking one. Yeah, let's just favor that back just to make it a little cleaner. I don't think I'm actually translating these shoulders now. Same on this side, rotate X. Repose there. And I'll leave it. No, I'll leave that where it is actually. Rotate Y. No, it is. You get lost in fixing things in the graph editor sometimes. See, I'm really extending it there. Yeah. Or no, actually, I'll leave it. Leave the spacing I have. More about this. See, that's the up and down. I might actually put another key in here and just bring it down. Just like a nicer pose to really keep it going down. And that would be frame 21 on this side. Let's see if we can do the same thing over here. Yeah, see again, it's kind of flattening out there, so maybe I'll bring this. Yeah, this is a little bit tangent. And I kind of want it to be cleaner looking. Yeah, just a bit less distracting. Hit C, and again, our favor back where it was. A bit smoother. Yeah. I think I'm getting a hyperextension at some frame here. No, not totally. I'm getting sort of a bit of a sharp transition there between straight arm and bent arm. Not too bad. But I'm definitely getting what I wanted, which is the shoulders leading the action. And the shoulders, then the elbows, then the wrists. And the wrists are the ugliest part of this so far. I wish I could just ignore those for a second, but if I look at them, actually, I've tried to do this. You know, can't really hide his arms completely, but if you look at his shoulders there. It kind of feels like they're pulling his arms forward, which is what I wanted to feel like. Really feel it there from the back. Actually, his chest is really he's really doing this a lot. You know, just to give him a real attitude, a real sort of like, yeah, I own this town. Okay, so now I'm going to go from there, and I'm going to start refining the actual animation on the arms. I'm going to go back to my tracker again and put a motion trade on. I want it to smooth. I want it to come. I want to favor back here a little bit more. Have rotation swing through a little bit. You know, so change the pose there. So again, I'm changing breakdown keys I've already created a while back, but that's okay. And I might end up getting gimbal again, but I just want to give them somewhere to go rotation wise. So this is a nice thing now about this being the extreme, being the last frame. I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to match up something to it. I can go here. I'm going to actually pull this down quite a bit and I really drag it through like that. I'm kind of looking at the path actually. I'm kind of having it dragging along the path. You see it's doing it there. Yeah, it is kind of doing it there as well. So which is nice already. And again, maybe here. Yeah. And here I'm going to just I'm going to set some keys here as well, just to push it into arc a bit more. Here. And here I want to make the arc nicer. I want to make it go up. Kind of like go up. Even though that's the extreme pose before it. Down. So it's just kind of more of a loop. I'm going to keep messing with this shape in 3D space until it becomes kind of pleasant looking from all angles, while also trying to avoid, you know, penetration and that kind of stuff. And I'm probably going to end up putting a key in almost every frame, I think, because I really want to control this. I want to control the spacing of it as well. I want to make this really like that key, translation wise, but rotation wise, I want to have it still favoring back where it was. So it's kind of slowing in, but it's not going to do the actual flick. Kind of nice to break up the spacing. I don't have the spacing, you know, be the same in every attribute. Like, you know, I have the translation spacing be kind of smoother. I have rotation spacing kind of flip faster. This gives it a bit more character, I think. Yeah. And I'm kind of keeping it in line with his form, while his form's kind of weird shape there anyway. So yeah, here that feels like too big of a change, like that. Clunk, clunk. I'm going to look at that pose and that pose and just give it more of a drag again. But yeah, I'm liking this. This was just an idea I had yesterday. Was, you know, can I try this idea of having the extreme on the actual last frame, you know, rather than having it on the third frame or fourth frame or whatever. And I might even just bend this back a little bit, which means I'm changing my pose. And going from there, and see if the auto filter will fix that, but probably not. Oh, there you go. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Very helpful today. No, not always the case. Sometimes it doesn't fix things, but sometimes it does. So again, I'm still playing with that pose. That was again one of my breakdowns. Again, I'm gonna look at the spacing. I'm looking at how far apart these points on the motion trade are. You know, and I'm setting lots of keys around the the change, because that's really where I want to control the spacing the most. I want to have it slow out, slow out, slow out. Here, again, I'm just pushing it into arc. Sometimes I'll delete a key and just see what happens. Yeah, bad. Just to kind of give me, you know, what the computer will actually give me, because that can be pretty clean if nothing else. You know, it won't be necessarily a good pose, but it'll interpolate it cleanly. Because basically, what I'm trying to get here is like this feeling of a pendulum where it's kind of fast on one end, or sorry, slow on either end and then fast through the middle. So I'm kind of spending most of the time with the hand in this position up here and back here, and I'll do more around this area as well. But this in between frame, like 7, 8, 9, I want those to actually maybe like even here like that. Yeah, I want them to be really quick. Maybe that more, maybe that more. What happens if I just frame that? Frame 8. See, you notice I delete keys all the time. It's just part of my workflow. I have a hotkey for it. I just have it's the normal, what is it here? Cut key. It's that command, but I just have that assigned to a hotkey. I have it on X. So I hit S to set a key and X to delete a key. And because I find I delete keys all the time. You know, like anytime I do something repetitive, I like it to be on a hotkey or on a shelf button or something that I grab quickly. Again, here I'm just looking at this. I'm going to keep looking at this in different, from different angles. Now I'm working a little bit on the back end of the swing. Again, I wanted to kind of swing through from where it was. Maybe drag quite a bit here. I'm going to really exaggerate this bit. I'm going to exaggerate too much sometimes, and then kind of go, that's too much. But I find I noticed that when I started off animating, I was also a little bit too conservative with my poses. I wouldn't push things far enough. I'd be kind of like, oh, the rig doesn't look good in that pose. But sometimes you have to kind of just really go for it first and then pull it back a little bit. It's kind of easier than to try and exaggerate it in gradual stages. Again, I'm favoring back to where it was. I'm looking at the spacing now between those two and those two. It feels like the spacing is getting a little bit even there, so I'm going to take that. Even the computer in between there is better than what I had. Here, favor back. And here, if I just delete that, yeah, push it into arc. And here you can nudge it forward a little bit. Push it into arc. Forward. Forward. So again, I'm just nudging them with my kind of spacing tool, with my tweener. Here. I'm just trying to see how far I can push them facing that way. Again, this might be too fast, but we'll see. I'm going to delete the motion trail for a second and just look at it from a few angles. I've been liking it more than the other side, but I feel like the arc could be a little bit bigger. Feels like it's hitting a little bit hard here. So maybe try something like this, have it move them up more, arc around more. It feels like it's a little bit small or something. I don't want it to feel like it's stuck in space, so just give it a bit more room to kind of travel. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, that feels like it's not enough change from this angle. Keep rotating around the character in different angles and that's too quick. That's on the way up. Oh, that's on the way back. Here on the way forward, but it's a bit noisy there. From this angle, so I'm really playing around here to see what kind of arcs make it feel nice. I'm kind of looking at the angle from different points of view. It's a little bit noisy. Noisy again, rotation coming up quick. Back to where it was. Yeah, that feels like too much of a change now. Like I like it there. But actually, even though this is my extreme, this is nice to know again about this being on the. I'm gonna just key. This is again. You can do this with Tween Machine. I think. Just if I just select the rotation channels, I'm gonna notice rotation back. I'm gonna leave the translation the same. I need to copy that post here. That's a little bit better. And then maybe give me that halfway. Not much back. I'm just tuning the rotation again there. Back a little bit. No, that's moving forward. It's halfway. Halfway is a gimbal. Okay. That feels too poppy now. Make it a little bit more. But still dragging in that axis. Maybe have it swing up like that. Maybe that's what it is. I like really experimenting with this because I don't have references for this and such. Like I started off with a reference for this animation, but now I'm kind of thinking more about what actually looks nice for the character. So I like this kind of idea of twisting its wrist, because this isn't. That's another thing that's interesting to think about as well. As in actual anatomy, our wrists. I'm sure this arm doesn't have a glove on it. They have a lot of um, range of movement in this axis and in this axis. Like that's actually our forearms, our two bones there, the radius and the ulna, rotating around each other. It's not actually that our wrist rotates, but so these two axes are the big ones where we tend to have looseness. But this axis, if I look at it from here, we don't have that much range of movement, maybe 30, 40 degrees at most. So we will, and often you see people doing walk cycles that really push this axis. But it looks a bit weird because, like that pose, if I hold that there, I feel that my arm is flexed now, or that pose is a little bit more natural. I think I have a bit more range of movement in that axis. But it's really not that natural to have that axis swing around too much. But this one and this one, definitely, especially this one, because our hand is very floppy in that axis, and we've got a good bit of range of movement here. But it's kind of good to think about, like where do things swing? Where do things naturally? Even though it's kind of cartoony here, I think about, you know, what do actual arms do, and then just exaggerate that. Maybe have it not quite like that yet, and keep that there, and then have it coming through. See, swing, 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 and then keep it going where it came from. Yeah, I'm liking that. That's kind of feeling nice to me. Same kind of thing here. Keep it facing. So we're actually going to see the, the kind of inside of his hand as it comes around. Too big there. Maybe change that a little bit too big there. I'm kind of looking at the gaps between his fingers to kind of see the spacing of those. We're actually seeing the back of his hand now, which is nice. We get to see this kind of fist pose that he has, which again was a choice I made to kind of show his attitude. Just kind of more straight pose there. So now I'm having a kind of swing the opposite way. If you look at the back here, we come around here. Here, rotation there with the hip here. I might end up deleting some of these keys and putting the in-betweens back in. We'll see. So I'm still looking at that motion trail as well and seeing where I can make it look a bit prettier. all these different angles. As I say, if I picked an angle, you know, make sure his elbow doesn't lock out there too much. If I picked an angle, this would be a lot easier. But I'm kind of, I think it's a nice kind of challenge sometimes to just try and make something look good from all angles. Um, you know, but sometimes, like I've done shots where people have changed the camera afterwards, which is kind of annoying. You're kind of like, oh, I didn't animate to that camera. But if you're kind of mindful of working to most angles and making it look decent in most of them, then at least when that happens, it won't be the worst thing ever. It could be still be annoying, of course, but sometimes you don't have a choice over that. Or if you're working for games or things like VR and AR, you have no control over the camera. Even games do a little bit. But yeah, it's starting to happen now. Something like that. Let's delete the motion tray again. Save incremental. Yeah, I like it. I'm liking it. Not too bad. If we compare it to the other arm looks very mechanical now compared to it. This has got a bit of snap. So I might just have a quick look at curves now and just see how I can maybe polish some of those. Like, now look at the translate Z. Yeah, I can see that one. I want it to favor back where it was, so I don't want it to come back. So I might get rid of some of these keys, but not all of them. So I have it actually even go further. I know that's his extreme technically, but I want to have. Yeah, no, I do want it to come into his body, but that's okay. There. Maybe keep it back there. Again, I'm just kind of keeping it in the front half of his body just to make the transition nice and quick. So a little bit, and then shoot into this pose, but again, I have to soften that a little bit. Maybe put in a pose in here. And this is my extreme on this end. Actually, not necessarily halfway. There we go. But I'm just kind of, doing a little bit of polish here and there. Just to make this look a little bit more clean. That's not bad. And then I'm going to look at rotation or translation Y. I can see it's kind of stuck in space there. I might have it come. Is it coming up? Yeah, I feel like it might keep going up like that. And then it might slow out and down. Again, I'm just doing everything to kind of make this pose the kind of important one. And then now I'm going to look at how it comes through here. I like it here. Maybe a little too low. Yeah, the arm is going to arm is taking out too much. Yeah, I feel like it's hitting a little bit of a wall. Again, here. No, I don't straighten out too much. I don't mind. Again, just two. I'm not really. I've got keys in every frame almost here at this point. I'm not really using a graph editor to make nice keys or make nice curves. I'm using it to just finesse these poses. You can also nudge in 3D space. I often do that, or in camera space. I often do that as well. I've got a tool actually that allows you to nudge in local space, which I use sometimes. But in this case, I'm just using the graph editor as kind of a more fine way to control the poses. Sometimes I find it's easier rather than trying to make really small movements in the viewport. Yeah, that's nice. And let's look at translate X as well. That is mostly, I think, in this axis. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it inside the shoulder a little bit there. You take that. You take these out. I want to be in front of his body for a little bit longer, maybe. And then I like how it swings out here during this part. I feel like it went further there as well, even a little bit. Take that out. And then there, I like it, but this pose maybe keep it out maybe a little bit more. And then here, I feel like it could still be in there. Maybe that in, smooth that out a little bit. And then it's a little bit too quick. Here, I want it more. Not just there in the view, just so I don't get that penetration. I'm seeing other things as I work on this. That's just the nature of it. You're fixing one thing, but you're noticing something else that you want to fix. Smoother. Yeah, I've done that pretty much. And now I'm going to look at save incremental again. Mine isn't pretty good today, but having said that, I just jinxed myself. So rotate X. That's actually the one I'm kind of interested in. So if I look at the curve, you can see it's quite jagged looking. I want to make it a little bit smoother maybe. So actually I might take this one and the last one. I just want to favor them back a little bit. Yeah. It's not a totally clean thing. You notice it's not rotating right on the axis. That's probably too big of a change. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of weirdness here with this. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're getting some gimbal stuff. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to clean up in the graph editor. I just might have to do it by eye. That feels like too big of a change again, rotation wise. That's okay. There are some animators that barely ever use the graph editor to do everything in the view. Particularly people that come from a 2D background. This thing, all sorts of names like the spaghetti box, and I get that. It is very technical, and then you can kind of go into a rabbit hole a bit of looking at your animation in this very analytical way, where it's really what matters is what's on the screen. So I think it's important not to be a slave to clean curves. Look at how things look in the view. So now I'm just dragging in this axis. Keep it a bit more of a sense of weight there. There. Yeah. There. Keep it. I look at the tongue there. Yeah. Starting to like that now. Yeah. It's too bad. And now I'm going to do the same on the other arm. That's going to take a little while. But at least I have this sort of guide now for what I've done. I know I'm going to start with what I know actually. I know that I want this pose, and we look at this pose. I want it to look more like that. I want this to be kind of back through. And then I wish I could mirror these poses. I'm going to just put in a breakdown here. I'm not going to put them on every frame to start with. I'm going to start. But look at that. Position wise, it's almost in the same place. Oh, actually, copy that key and then just rotate it through. Yeah. And then look at the translate Y, maybe pull it back a little. Translate Z, pull it back a little bit. Or actually push it in a little bit and keep going through like I have the other side. Yeah, that's already a bit better. And the in between there isn't actually working too badly. I'll push that into arc in a little bit. But yeah, not too bad. Bring that up a little bit. That direction is too big. I want to slow into that. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna just key those 3 keys. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll just key around it and then I'll add in the extra keys as I need them. And then I know I want that to be pulling back here. So I want to keep that like I had in the other side. I want to keep that rotation going. Keep the nudge for a second just to get a rough idea of it. Now I want to see, like we had on this side, I want to see the back of the hand as it comes through. Like he's kind of pulling his arm down. We're going to see that pose is not what I want. I'm probably getting gimbal stuff here at this point, but that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. What's that meme of that baby? Yeah. I feel like spacing wise, translation wise, I think I'm bigger there than I have here. That's like 4 frames after the. Yeah, not too much. We'll put it back up a little bit. Again, I'll do some of this in the graph editor as well, and some of it with the motion trail once I've got the basics working. So again, we're looking at that. This is the equivalent to this pose. So see how much allergy we have there. This one, feel that same kind of fist punching sort of thing. And here, I don't want this to swing through that quickly. And even here, I don't want it to. What have I got here on frame? Which is it? Yeah, so I've got a nice spacing of the rotation there coming through like that. Frame 13 is my last key. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, you see, that's not too bad. And see, you notice this side was quicker because I kind of figured out on the other side. You know, again, this wasn't purely going from reference. This was kind of just going for what feels nice for this character and this kind of cartoony world I'm trying to think about him in. So now I'm going to just do the same sort of motion trail thing. Now I'm going to not think about rotation so much, more about translation. Up a little bit. Kind of think about arcs, favoring, back, back, arc. I'm going to favor this. Oops, no, I just want the translations. I select those in the channel box and it won't key the rotation. Again here, a little bit of favoring there. I have to make it a little bit, just more. Yeah, I'm just going to use the nudge. Use the alt and arrow keys just to kind of match the shape and camera space. Again, same thing here. Again, I want to favor where it was. Away there. Here. Again, just pushing that into arc. Spacing. There. Key here. Here. I'm putting keys in every frame almost so that I can see the spacing. You know, so I can see it slowing in. Just because I really want to control the space. Again, see, getting slightly nicer shape now. Well, even and then a bit more favored. Favored. Out of it. Feels like slightly nicer. Whoops. That's there. Favor again. Again. That's that. Yeah. Don't want to knock the arm out though. Favor. I mean, conscious of the elbow. I don't want the elbow to kind of straighten and then unstraighten over a couple of frames. That will just be poppy. It's kind of going to pop. So I'm just focusing on one angle there now for that. Let's have a look at the front angle. This is clean. A little bit this angle. And maybe up a little bit as well. And I might do some work in the graph editor now as well. Delete the motion thread again and just once I X, I feel like yeah, I feel like there you can go to more of an extreme and slow out of that, like we did on the other side. Now we kind of go behind his body a little bit. Translate Y. Walk a little bit again. Again, very much like it. Translate Z looks pretty decent for most of it. Yeah. Nice when your keys don't get in the view and then it looks clean in the graph editor. You feel like your eyes getting better. And then translate X, but that could be still favored in there. You don't want to put out that quickly. You want to change, but at the same time I don't want the penetration, so you're trying to get that balance. And then I don't want, like, hey, popping. Here, I'm just going to delete that because I just want that imagery pretty. I don't want the penetration there. Penetration wise. How are we looking? Translation Y. That's my extreme. Yeah, not too bad. Z is not looking too bad either. It's looking a little bit funky in the back here. Maybe that back. Yeah, even a bit. Sometimes I'll take out a bunch of keys and just see. Yeah. Because it's weird. You want to control things on a frame by frame basis, but not necessarily every single attribute. You know. And now I'm going to ghost again. Oh, I haven't done anything. I'm body selected. Ghosting. I should set up a little button for them. Actually, it's going to launch it again. It's the simplest way to add them to it. Now I'm going to do just, yeah, see, I feel like that spacing there just a little bit too big, position wise. So even though I've got my graph editor looking nice now, I still want to think about it as a graphical thing. Graphical versus graph editor. So let's see, just something bugging me a little bit about the rotation now. Maybe it's the arc up as well here. Yeah, like a bit. So see, I'm changing my mind a lot here. It's kind of the nature of it. It's reacting to what's there. Yeah, that's what it's about. I want to, like the other side, I want the arm kind of swing through along, that rotation drag, kind of follow the path that it's taking. That's better. Just a little bit. Back off a little bit there. Yeah, I still feel like it's a bit noisy. I think maybe it's just here. Let's just take out my rotation key. See what happens. No, I like it actually. I think I got this one. What I've done there is actually I've got my channel set to sync editor, graph editor, and sync timeline. If I highlight these, I'm only seeing the keys here that are on that particular channel, so I can delete just that. If I go back to translate, see, I haven't deleted the translate keys there. That's a nice kind of workflow thing I like to do as well. So I just want to favor that a bit better. You know what? It's actually my key, my 13. I don't like. I'll take that out. Favorite again. A little bit. Yeah, that's feeling a bit better. It's back to my. That's looking pretty decent from most angles. I'm sure I can find one angle that'll bug me. But yeah, for now I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of finish off then, is I want to get that back. Excuse me. I want to get that back to having the same frames as the rest of my cycle. Because now, as I said, when I started off here, I put them on frame 3 and frame 23. Oh, look at that, the same. So, cycle. But I want them to be on frames 1 to 21. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to bake. You can use the, I think it's like here key bake simulation. Come on, little GUI here again. It just doesn't. So I was going to bake them, and because I had them looping in the timeline, that's just going to bake them, and then it's going to delete this key and this key, and now I'm back to. Oh, I'm getting a jump there with the same 2 extra frames, but we're back to everything being keyed on the same frame. And if I extend this range now, we can leave the loop off to infinity and beyond, and the cycle is now back synced up with the rest of this body. Everything is keyed now from 1 to 21. I thought that was like an interesting workflow to try, and I'm glad I did. I think it's worked reasonably well. I feel like that's a lot better than what I started with. It's the same basic idea, same basic spirit, but it's just I feel spacing is much more interesting. And it didn't take me as long to get it as it would have with the other way. We're trying to figure out like where the extreme is when it's after my timeline starts again, if you like. I've actually put some, I've already animated his mover as well, so I'm just going to unmute that. Unmute selected, so now I should see him walking away. It goes. I'm going to, have a ground for him to walk on. Make this longer. And there we go. So the cycle is looping, and his main mover is walking off the space. And off he goes to give somebody a piece of his mind. I feel like he's in a bit of belligerent mood today. But I'm pretty happy with that. What I might do next, in the next pass, is maybe do some animation on his ears and his whiskers. I did that already, but it's you can see the animation already on there. But in fact, what I might do is just working that. No, working every week. I might just delete the animation from those. Just to get rid of it because it's kind of distracting me. I didn't delete the keys on his head, hopefully though. No. Yeah. Just because it wasn't really related to what his head was doing anymore. I animated that a while back in the first rough version of this cycle. So I feel like I'll do that again. And I think these have keys as well. Again, they're not really working with what he's got now, so I'm going to delete those keys as well. It kind of just reminds me really to go back and look at that stuff again, rather because sometimes you get used to looking at something and you just kind of go, oh yeah, that's fine, but your critical eye has kind of forgotten about that thing. But yeah, his body now and his head and his arms and legs, I'm feeling pretty good. And I'm feeling pretty good about the timing. We're getting 24 frames a second pretty much, but where does he walk off screen? Back here, so let's try just play passing that and look at that real time just before we finish. I actually wasn't using the animation caching at all today. I noticed I had turned off yesterday. I was doing some baking and stuff. Um, but there you go. That is him. I feel like that 20 frame cycle is working better now than the 24 frame one. Just for his design, like what I often like to do, even at this stage, is play around with Keyframe Pro, use the plus and minus keys to speed it up. That's how it looks in like speed up 25%. Not too bad either. You're a little bit too fast. There it is, like 150%, or you know, getting a bit silly now. And that feels ridiculous. But or even go slower. I'm not playing it now. 3/4 speed. That's kind of what it was like yesterday, or not maybe not quite that slow. But that's roughly what it was. I like to do this. Sometimes I'll do this when I'm working on a cycle and go, actually, I'll retime it, do that. But that's it back to 100%. I'm just sitting here with the plus and minus keys on under my fingers and not even thinking about what values I'm putting in, but just thinking about what looks right. Thinking like, does that look better? That look better? You know, that look better. And I feel like which is actually the normal speed now. It's good. I do like it a little bit faster again. I feel like even that one that has an appeal to it as well. But I feel this is a little bit more, I guess, more regal. I'm kind of imagining him as a little bit of a, he thinks he owns the world. So I think I'm going to stick with that speed for this. I'll do that a lot with run cycles as well. It's amazing how often run cycles you animate them in like 16 frames, and then you play past them, and kind of go, it feels very slow. You often end up with like 9 or 11 frames for a run cycle for a really fast one. So yeah, I'm going to leave that for today. Maybe next pass, then I'll maybe do some stuff with his whiskers and his ears, and just do that overlap that was on those over again. I'll probably use my aim tool again to test that again with the rig. I think that might be a good example of using that. A good way to try that. So that's me for today, and thanks a million for stopping by. Cheers.